Yes.
Cost per download? Do you have to download the engine, or how do you get the program?
Good question. So this service is being provided by this, I'm building on this platform of this company, Where.com. So in the past, in some other development, what I've done is I've done the J2ME coding myself. And so basically it's a downloaded application that talks both to the GPS features of the cell phone, but also talks to the game engine, which is running on a PHP MySQL server. So it's server driven. But with Where doing this in the background, if you sign up for Where, which is now being offered on Sprint and many other platforms, what happens is that this is just one of the offerings that they have. They have things like shopping finders. They have other kinds of social networking, tools or things that they think that are going to be attractive. And so I'm putting this on their platform. And then, so that would be, I would be getting revenue if people were using this game off of their platform. But it would be like a menu choice, and then this little module would be downloaded when you needed it. Yes?
Is there a system to see available games or set up games ahead of time built into this, or do you have to rely on other things like instant messenger and stuff?
You need to rely on instant messaging and when you create the game. That kind of interface could be added, but I didn't want to, at the design at the beginning, I didn't want to inject that into my flow, thinking that people who were going to be creating the game would be contacting their friends. They would designate by email or other systems where to go in advance. So that was taken care of. One thing you'll notice is that the your login ID happens to be your cell phone number. And one of the things that that this game is playing with is this idea of trust. And it's particularly, I find it's kind of an exciting space because you're dealing with a game which is predator and prey, but you're also dealing with the issues of trust. And so, so I need the cell phone number in order to be able to send those taunts, those SMS taunts, to the other player. But in initial testing, I've discovered that even the people who are testing the game, who are judging these games, do not want to put in their cell phone numbers because they're afraid, of course, of getting their cell phone spammed. So that particular interface on this will change. But I'm trying to think of this is an issue that we're trying to explore in this game development. Yes.
On that topic, but like moving more towards security, how are you going to deal with things like, I mean, think Facebook and MySpace becoming such a great spot for stalking and whatnot, and pedophiles and all that jazz that you get to hear about in the news all the time. I mean, if obviously you can start a game with your close friends, but then anyone in the area can get into it, what's kind of the security thing? You have to be over a certain age to play? Can you group people by age in it? Is it just like, hey, let's stop people? I mean,
that's a
good idea of game, but
okay. So I believe in dangerous gameplay, and I believe that if you want to play in a game and you're playing with strangers, that you can get stabbed in the back by a friend as easily as you can by a stranger in the real world, but also in the game world. So you should be ready to play with other people, with people who are strangers. I think that the gameplay itself, just like in Facebook, will actually cause kind of a natural distillation of people who want to play. So if you're working with people who want to play, I don't know that that's really going to be an issue.
But it's not really an issue with the people who want to play. It's think about Facebook. No one on Facebook and MySpace is worried about stalkers. It's the parents and, oh, my daughter's like this, and oh, someone's going to stalk her. And what do you do when it becomes so mainstream that now everyone gets into it and parents start complaining about security?
So far, I've been a bit of a pirate about this. So the first game I had, which was in Times Square, which was a treasure hunt, you play on your cell phone, and that was on 010101, is now played on college campuses as an orientation game. And I have other applications that are on the network, so I'm very, in one sense, very aware of the issue of needing to maintain some privacy, or at least some forms of protection. So although you have to put up your cell phone number there, you don't actually the other players don't get to see it. The name they get to see basically is your avatar name that you have, or your player name that's in there. But in the end, I'm gonna weather that storm when I get there. Yes.
How worried are you on how you're protecting yourself against litigiating? Because if somebody gets hit by a car while playing this game, or somebody gets stalked or whatever, you're gonna get a phone call.
Okay, so here's the business model on that. So the way this works is you keep the assets of your company to a low level. You incorporate, keep your assets to a low level, and what happens is that when they go after the assets of the company and they can have it. So Cutlass is designed.
I like that strategy. It's worked for so many companies.
Yeah, it works. If you think about it, the taxi cabs in New York, if you notice, all of them are formed around a 2 taxi cab corporation. An owner might have 10 cabs, but he's actually got 5 corporations. And that's how he spreads his risk. So I'm spreading it in the same way. If this game takes off, it forms its own corporation, and its liabilities are within the corporation, and I'm pulling out money all the time. Yes?
Are you building any more functionality into the existing model, and what is the revenue model?
There will be more functionality built in. First, I have to get this ready for play with the judges at NAVTech and in Las Vegas. One of the issues is that this is a game that cannot be demoed. The only way you can demo is if I get 5 judges together, I all give them these devices and I take them to a park and I force them to play. This is not a game that you can actually demo on any kind of console because it doesn't even really give you kind of like the feel or the feeling. So, I think if I'm just trying to work out the sweet spots of this game here and of this relationship and trying to keep the game really simple and on the point of the sort of predator and prey and see how people, if it takes off, people will want to build up bragging rights. There can be this sort of situation where some game parks are more fun to play in than others. Some people will want to do it, say, in an off-bike mode. Some people would want to do it, say, in a completely pedestrian mode. We'll see where it takes off. Yes?
Does the prey get any warning if the predator is approaching them? Is there any way that they can...
No warning. So the idea is that as a prey, right, you're kind of looking over your shoulder all the time. And so the person who's the predator has to be very sly. You know, they can't be looking at their phone and then looking at you, looking at their phone, and vice versa, you know. Yes?
You said that the tag space is 30 feet. Would the prey be able to see that a person is standing there so they know that they've been tagged?
Yes. And so, because of the time limit in the game, you might actually have to run after your prey for 2 minutes in order to make that tag. You may have to keep up with them because you have to stay within that 30-foot range until the RF, till the shadow tag is made.
Sorry, guys. You can answer the questions later. Right now, we have to continue on. We're running a little late. So.
Thank you very much.